I'm Anthony from Learning to Play the Guitar. In this lesson I'm going to show you how to play the song If You Have to Ask by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This song is the second track off their multi-platinum selling album Blood Sugar Sex Magik, released all the way back in 1991, featuring some great funky guitar parts and some really cool bass lines. First off, let's have a look at the funk guitar part used in the verse. If you're enjoying this video so far, please like and subscribe, and you can check out my other books and lessons on my website, learningtoplaytheguitar.net. Okay, the rhythm guitar part here in the verse is based around a D minor chord or a D minor 7 chord, just using two little notes from it, which are going to be a C note on fret 5 and an F note on fret 6, and then we're going to mute that bottom string as well with my third finger. So fingers 1, 2, 3, giving us that thing with a lot of dead strumming going on. There's also a little bonus funny extra note added at the end of the 4-bar phrase, where we add this fret 7 note here to give us this strange sort of jazzy sort of clashing note there. So the rhythm here is a funk pattern using 16th notes accenting groups of 3. And so to make that work, I'm thinking of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 as I go through that. But as I'm doing that, obviously my hand is now going to move down and up. And so to make that work, I'm thinking this is just going automatically, and then I'm thinking of when do I pressurize? I'm pressurizing, pressing down properly on the fretboard on the groups of 3s. So for example, really slowly, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So each time I'm hearing the number 1, I'm pressing down on the fretboard, and in between that I'm muting those strings, otherwise it would be a horrible mess. So with that as well, we've got to take into account this has a slight swing feel to it, a 16th note swing, giving it a hip-hop sort of feel. So we have this little 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 little swing. There's 3 bars of that pattern, and the 4th one is with the extra bonus weird jazz note. So the 4th bar would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And again, that's muted and staccato, so keeping those chords short. So I'm just basically lifting the pressure off, not taking my hands off completely, but just taking the pressure off so the notes don't ring out like, but they're more. Also watch that you're muting the D string. I mute that with the edge at the top of my finger here. So if I do hit it by accident with the pick, it doesn't ring out, giving us that sort of sound. So it's very controlled as well. The chorus guitar part approaches that funk feel in a slightly different way, so let's check it out. So the chorus is based around the C minor 7 or a C minor sort of sound, and he uses some notes from the C minor pentatonic scale here. So we have fret 8 and 10 on the D string, a dead strum, just muted there, sliding 10 to 13, nice and quirky on the B string, sliding with my second finger 8 to 12 on the G string. Then we've got fret 8, back on where we started on the D string, fret 10, which is the C, and then 3 8 notes, which is B flats. So the notes, again, just roughly, dead, sliding, sliding, 8, 10, 8, 8, 8. And there is a little rhythm behind this, especially that last 8 is on an off 16th, so it's actually 4 E ender. So it feels like it's a little bit late behind the beat. You can hear that with the drum beat on the demo. So there's 3 bars of that pattern. The 4th time around it's virtually the same, except we simply stop after a 10 and we stop on that single 8 note there, and there's a 2-beat break going back into the verse. This is the final round of the riff in the chorus, and that's it. The bridge or the breakdown section of this song plays a bunch of funky jazzy 9th chords and some dominant 7th chords. bridge gets a little bit jazzy here with a whole bunch of jazzy ninth chords and dominant 7 chords, and there's even a major 9 chord. So here we go. The first time around, it's just single hits, which isn't too crazy. So we have a G9, G flat 9, going down to an F9, one step at a time, C7, E flat major 9, a very jazzy way of playing a major chord, B flat 7, D7 sharp 9 at fret 5, which is that Hendrix Purple Haze chord at fret 5. But then the second time around, they make it funky with some extra down up dead drums in between. So down on the G9, down, up on the G flat 9, up, dead, down on the F9, down, up, deads, and then we've got 2 C7s, nice and short, E flat major 9, then up, dead, down on the B flat 7, up, down on the D7 sharp 9, hanging on to that shape, but we're going to make some deads here, down, up with the deads, and then down, up, down, up, down, up with dead on the end. So I'll do that again, but I'll make that a little bit smoother. So G9, down, down, up, down, up, C, C, E flat 9, which is the fiddly chord, down, down, up, down, the D7 sharp 9, down, up. So again, nice and slow. One more. The Hendrix-inspired, overly distorted guitar solo here features some great playing around the blues scale in D. The guitar solo here is based around the D blues scale, starting at fret 10. So here we go. We've got fret 12 on the G string with a little half bend pulling off to fret 10 on the same string, and then back to it, and then bending it up for a whole step. Phrase number 2, same thing, bendy 12, pulling off to the 10, but then 12 on the D string, and little hammer here, fret 12 on the G string, back to fret 10 on the G string. Phrase 3, bending but now on the B string, little half bend again, same sort of pattern, pulling off to the 10, 12 on the G, 10 on the B, and then we've got a Chuck Berry type thing, bending a 13 on the G string, fret 10 will be alternating on the B string. So we have this sort of thing. Very Johnny B. Good. So that whole thing sticks together like this. Then we jump out of that pattern down to fret 5 and 3, pulling off to the 5, little wobble, vibrato there, bendy 2, up and down a half step. So it's going to the B note here, which is very much like a jazzy 6th note over the D minor. Then we have this little bar slides and a bit of feedback because he's cranked really loud, obviously, when he recorded it. So then from that, we're back to our pattern 1 D minor pentatonic D blues stuff. I'm going to bend a big step here on 12. And underneath that, I hit the 13. Now let them overlap a little bit. And then we've got fret 10 there. So you can bend that with your second finger and you have the third underneath, which is what I do. Or you can go third finger, little finger, whatever you prefer. So altogether it would sound like that sort of thing. Now continuing on with this phrase, we're bending again that 12, it does a lot of this. Fret 10, little open D hiding in there, 12, flicking off the 10 again, 12, little 10, 12 triplet backwards and forwards thing. So that whole phrase with the bend at the start. That sort of stuff. Continuing on with the bluesy stuff, same area, next bar. Fairly self-explanatory, I think. 12-10 finishes that bar, and then we have this double bar of bending one note and blocking the hell out of it, and with a triplet sort of feel, starting off with a half bend and just holding it on that fret 12 again. Then like 1, 2, triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slowly releasing, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can hear me counting the main beats there with the 1, 2, 3, 4s. And then after that, just make sure when you play that you don't go too long or too short to line up with the rest of the track. Continuing down the blues scale, but lower in the same position, 10, 12 on the D and the A strings. Blues note the 11, come on, pull off, slide to 8, 10, 8, 8, right there. Then after that we get into this little chromatic thing here, 10, 11, 12 on 2 strings, blues note and a weird little chromatic 11 C sharp note. Getting out of that with a little bluesy bendy 12 again. Back to that 10 note again. The final lick where the band stops, again blues time but a bit different, bendy 13, 13, bendy 12, pulling off the 10 into that 12, and then we have a bendy 10, normal 10, 12, 11, 10, 12, 11, 10, slide, and then this final note, he bends it up a half step as the funky guitar comes back in. In this lesson too, I'm including the bass. So here, let's have a look at what's happening in the bass for the verse. So the funny thing about this song is that the bass is tuned down a whole step. So your strings are going to be tuned down to D, G, C, and F. So the usual E, A, D, G tuning. The verses are based around D minor, and so he's playing sort of D minor, pentatonic-y based riffs and things like that. So what he does here is quite cool. He has this little triplet-y 16th note pattern going, which sort of matches the funky guitar and the drum beat. So we end up with an open string, which is D technically. Now 7, 5, 7, 5 is the first little pattern, but the rhythm is that. So 1 and triplet G, which is fret 5, 1 and so. And the challenge of that is it's quite quick. Boom, 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 boom. They're trying to get that feel going. That's the theme that he's using. So the second half of the bar is the same idea, but he's going to go down to the fret 3 note, which is an F in this tuning. So it's going to be, and also being really dead on with your beat. So it's 1 and 3 and. So it has to be on the beat for that second ba-da-ba-dum coming down. The second bar here is the same idea again, starts off the same way. But then he does this little slide. So there's a slide here from fret 5 up to fret 15. So that first 2 bars roughly sounds like this slowed down. Up and down. So then the second round of that is much the same until we get to bar 4, and he does this little simple fill, 4, 5, 5, which is B, C, G. So that 4th bar would be 4, 1 and 3 and 4, the count of that. And so then that continues on the same as you can hear in my demo until we get to the end. Instead of doing the 4, 5, 5 thing I just played, he does this little, on the what I call the off 16ths, the E's and the R's, he has this little funky chromatic 4, 5, 6, 7 thing going up on the, in this case, the 3rd string. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So with a little bit of that riff in front of it, technically it'll be 1 and 3. And you can hear that with the drum beat. Ba, 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 and then straight back to the start. So I might just play the whole verse really slowly here and you can sort of pull it apart. And slide. Next bar, same thing. And yeah. 4, 5, 5, halfway through. Yeah. And slide. 4, 5, 6. Need to be back at the start. In the chorus here, there's some amazingly complicated bass lines played by Flea. Really funky. Let's work out what's happening with them. So the chorus here for the bass gets quite complicated. There's two versions. There's what I call chorus 1 and chorus 2. A lot of funky stuff based around the idea of C minor 7 or C minor. Here in this case, again, because we're down tuned, normally C would be fret 3. All the C stuff is going to be based around fret 5 for the C now. And so then this little pattern here has lots of little dead notes and funky slides. So we're just going to play through all the parts really slowly here. So here we go. Fret 5, which is on the G string there, which is that one. Fret 5 there on that string, sliding. 4, 5 on the bottom string, open string there. Fret 3, dead, sliding. Third or second finger, probably my third really. Open, 3, pull off to 3. So that bar. And that's sort of that hip-hoppy sort of feel behind it. You can hear that swing a little bit. Second bar is very similar. They're all little variations of that same theme I just played. So we've got fret 5, sliding, open, 3, 0. Funky little thing. Here, 6, 7, probably fingers 2, 3. Flick off. 7, 8 crossing overs, that's a bit fiddly. And that pull off's quite subtle in reality. You make it a dead note, that's quite fine. I'll do it again. Bar 3 is actually the same as bar 1. Bar 4, again, same idea, but we're going to go low. Open 1, 3, 4, 5, walking up the scale there chromatically. Back to our fret 5 C note. This one is bar 5, which is the same as the first bar. Back to one of those. Now this one goes a little bit high. 10, 11. Dead, 4, 5, 3, so. In the final two bars, again, it goes back to the main theme. The final little bit getting out of the chorus. Fret 5, C, fret 3, B flat. Chorus 2 again is based around the same theme as chorus 1, of course, but then there are more variations. So here we go, first bar, which is the main theme. Bar 2, we have these extra little fills happening. 5, 6, 7 on the string, which is now the C string, and little 0, 3, 5. So in reality, sounds like that. This is now leading to bar 3, which again is the same as the first bar. Back that little theme. So this is bar 4, 5, 0, 3 on that string, 4, 3 dance, little 0, 1, 2 slide just after the beat. So it sounds like this. That's the feel of that one. Yeah, in bar 5, there's another little variation. So here in the official tab from the Red Hot Chili Peppers book, there is an open low D here, but to me it sounds a bit more like a muted dead note. But with the open D, we've got a... which is that, with a little 3, 0, 3, 0 on the end. But you could also make that dead. So this bar here goes high. Little slide down there, the 10, 11, 12, sounds quite cool. Final 2 bars. The bridge section here is fairly simple, it just follows the root notes of the chords played on the guitar. Into the bridge, there's this little rundown which will copy those jazzy guitar chords, G, G flat, F and C at 9s and the 7s and so forth. So we have in tab here on this string 7, 6, 5, 5, 3, 3, 7, 2 of them, pretty easy. Then we have this little addition of some dead notes to match the funky dead notes on the guitar. Not quite exactly what he's playing, but very similar. So they've got an offbeat 16th, 3 open D strings there on the bottom. The second time around, it's actually the same thing, but with a slide. At the very end of the song, there's a cool little funky lick which I've included here too for you to learn. So at the very, very end of the song, it jams out on that verse groove, but then there's a little sort of funky bass little fill that he does on the end, which is quite cool, which I thought I'd grab as well. So sliding 3, 4, 5. I'm going to get little finger 7, 0, 6, 7, and then we're going to jump into 5, 5, 7, hammer on that string, 5, 7, 0, 5, 0. That's all the main bass parts.